Today, I'm going to teach you how to remember everything, absolutely everything, by building an external memory. You're not going to want to miss this one. Welcome back to Superhero Institute. My name is Jeff Gibbard. I'm the host of these videos, and I'm taking you through the entire Superbrain OS. Make sure to like and subscribe, smash it, as they say. And as a reminder, every page that we create throughout this process will be in the description of the video. If there's any relations that break, you can fix those with AI, and I'll cover that in a later video, or you can make the relations yourself. And if you don't feel like building any of this, you can buy the entire Superbrain OS in the Notion Marketplace. That link is also in the description. So today I'm going to take you through building an extended memory. So I tend to think of this as sort of like my own little, hard drive that I carry around in my pocket, because as long as I have my phone with me and access to Notion, I can basically gain access to this entire memory bank system that I created here. And the idea came to me one day when I was on one of my social feeds, and I thought, oh man, it would be really good to have a social feed for what I've done in my world, right? Because like early social media, that's what people do. I'm having a taco, or I'm here, I'm this, before we knew to argue about things online. And so I thought, I think I just had a doctor's appointment. I thought, oh, it would be really good if I had just like a feed of all the stuff that happened in my life. And I could, remember, when did I change the car's oil last? And when did I change the air conditioner filter? And when did I have my last doctor's appointment? When did I see the dentist last, right? So I wanted to build sort of a external memory, but that was structured a bit like a Twitter feed, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to show you how I built this inside of the Superbrain, and how it's expanded to really encompass a full external memory that I use for just about everything. So inside of the commons, what we have is the update feed under the remember section. And what this is basically, like I said, it's a bit like a Twitter feed, right? So you've got your date that it happened, and then you've got some categories. So let me go back out into the categories. So inside of organize, you'll have memory categories. These are the different categories I've created in here. You can create any ones you want. But this is so, you can remember things about your house or your apartment or where you live. There's health ones, there's car, there's a story that happened to you, first time and last time, accomplishments and regrets. Can't wait to tell you about that one. Where did I put? This is one that I always found myself, where did I put that? So I basically just built in here that I could categorize something as where did I put it? And I could just leave a quick update in here, and then I could go back and look for that in where did I put it. Quick reference are for things that you obviously want to reference quickly. Saved cards in the feel-good file. This is one I've been doing for a very long time. And I actually have a paper version of this still. It's a folder of all my saved cards and stuff where people say nice things. Thank you. And then interaction. So did you have a notable interaction you want to remember that it happened? So these are all the categories you have in here. You could put whatever you want in here. But let me show you how I structured that inside of the update feed. So the first is you create any old kind of update in here, where essentially you just kind of fill it all in here. Recorded the memory section of the Notion Superbrain OS video series, right? And that happened today, which is 17th. That's when I'm recording it, by the way. And that might be related to my workspace, and maybe it's related to the project that I would call Superbrain OS series. So now I've got a Superbrain OS video series in here, which I'll create. So now I can track every update that's related to the Superbrain OS video series. And I'm going to categorize that as, what happened? Let's see. I might categorize that as, since I don't have something here, I might say something like general. I just have a general update sort of thing, right? And it's not related to anybody in particular, so I don't need anything in here, although that is me. And that's how you would basically go about doing this. So it's a basic Twitter feed that then you have ordered by date. So the date of update is descending, so the newest thing is going to be on top. And it allows you to then go back through here and see, what it is that you want to see. So very, very cool piece of that. The next thing you might want to say is, for instance, things you want to remember. So here's the thing I want to remember, like my brand colors, right? That might be something that I want to remember. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that one. I'm going to categorize that one as quick reference. And since it's related to my work, I'm going to put it into work. So now I've got my brand colors are categorized related to my work, and they're a quick reference. So now I can quickly find that, right? So the first thing I would do is say, okay, I want superhero red. It's one of my colors. And for that, I have this hex color, right? And then I'll have Nightwing blue. That's another one of mine. So we'll do that one. Okay, and now I've got my brand colors right here, easy to find whenever I need them. And what I did here was you can create different views of this database. So you can have them all along the top here. So what I did was I just created a little quick reference, and now I can find all the things I want to quickly get to. And if I wanted to, I could group these by the space. So now favorite foods, that doesn't have a space. That doesn't seem right. That should really be in my personal one. So now I can find my favorite foods inside of my personal space and my brand colors inside of my workspace. Maybe I don't want to group them in that particular way. So let's turn off grouping. Maybe I want to do it by date, or maybe I just want to be able to see in property visibility what space it's related to, and then I can see that. So that's a way of doing that. Now, another thing you might do is like, oh God, where did I put that? I was looking for my headphones. So I put my headphones on my desk. They're in the category, where did I put? Well, that's going to be useful. Doesn't really need a space here, but if I go to where is, oh, that's where they are. And then if I move them, I can just update this, and then the entry, update the date of update. So I'd always have a running feed of where I put stuff. The next is, let's say that somebody, said something really nice to us. Like, let's say that I got this note, or I gave you this note. Hey, I just want to say I think you're amazing. Downloading the SuperBrain OS and getting your life organized is really cool. And you're like, oh my God, I want to save that. So you put this in as a quote. So I just did a little quote block right there. And I just added in that exact quote, and I associate it with save cards and feel good file. And then if I'm having a rough day, I could just go into my feel good file and be like, oh God, remember that time that Jeff Gibbard said that getting my life organized is really cool and that I was amazing? That was really great. So that's another thing I might want to save in my memory. Now, this last one I'm excited to tell you about because it was a bit of an epiphany for me, and that's, talking to all of my neurodivergent people right now, especially. I found that in my life, it was very difficult for me to recall anytime someone said, can you tell me about a recent accomplishment? The challenge is, recent is really difficult for me because I don't really perceive time, I think, like a neurotypical person might, where there's a degree of distance from the present moment. I always describe the way I experience time as now and not now. So something that happened to me a day ago and something that happened to me a week ago and something that happened to me a month ago are functionally in my head kind of the same. It's kind of like there's essentially just two stacks. There's now and not now. And not now is just a big pancake, and there's no real sense of scale or time. And the other problem with that is then regrets tend to linger for me. Things that happened to me in 5th grade might be something that I still feel badly about once I think about it. So in that not now pile, if I think of any of those things, I don't have a sense of when it was relative to the present moment. It doesn't feel much further away if it was 20 years ago versus 5 years ago or last week. They all feel kind of the same because they're just in not now. And so one day I was having this conversation with my therapist. She's great. And she said something and just casually mentioned the word timeline. And I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm going to take my accomplishments and regrets and put them on a timeline. And so that's what I do here is that I might have something in here where I'd be like, failed 2nd grade spelling bee, right? Really, really upsetting. And let's say the date of that update was, what was that? 2nd grade, 1986, we'll call it. Right? So April 17th, 1986. That's when that happened. And the category of that is a regret. Oh my God, horrible. Right? And then maybe I decided to make my biggest donation yet to Pathways to Housing PA. That's a nonprofit I'm on the board of and I love so much. It helps people who are homeless to get housing immediately. No preconditions or anything. Just helps them get it. Maybe I look at that as an accomplishment because I felt really good about it. And I want to, in the memory, just remember where the link for that is. So just in case you're thinking yourself like, gosh, I should really donate to Pathways to Housing. Here's where it is, jgibbard.me/pathways. That'll get you right there. Anywho, so maybe that's my accomplishment. I feel really good about it, and that's today. So now I can go to my win-loss timeline, and I can see especially if I turn on the property visibility of category. Look, an accomplishment. And then I can look back at this regret and be like, oh my God, that was so far in the past. And even if I look at it on this larger timeline, now I can see like, oh my God, how much time has to pass before I get back to that regret? So it gives me a sense of scale of when good things and bad things happen so that they don't feel so nebulous in my mind. So I find that this is a really useful thing. But the bottom line about the update feed and how this functions is that you have with you at all times that you have your phone or that you're at your computer, the ability to go into your update feed and add a new update. You can backfill it, and then you get a sense of scale of when things happened. And you're able to check back when someone says, when was the last time blank? When's the last time you saw the dentist? When's the last time you saw your doctor? When's the last time you saw your mom? When's the last time you called your dad? You can put all that stuff in here if you want. You can put anything you want in here that you want to remember, and all of a sudden you have this kind of time-stamped feed of when it all happened. And you can categorize it. As with everything in the Superbrain, there's categories. And I use the memory categories as another database that I linked to the update feed, and these two are now connected. And I'm able then to go into any of these, for instance, accomplishments, and I'm able to see what it's connected to. So it gives me the ability to get a better sense of the memories that I have. I can go and look at all of the things in my feel-good file that way. So if I went to here and I went to my feel-good file, I could look in here and I could see everything it's connected to. So it's really great because it gives you the ability not just to see your memory, but also to categorize and sort it so that you have some sense of where things are. You don't have to remember things anymore. And I think that's really great. So with that being said, this has been the video on memory. I remembered to do it. And in the next video, I'm going to help you to build the ultimate system to track your projects, tasks, and goals. If you want to build what we did here today, one, you can download the pages. It's just the update feed, but I will put that page in the description. You can also download the entire Superbrain OS, get this and everything else with all of the connections wired up and beautiful. Or you can build it yourself if you'd like. But this is basically just a database that I put into the list view, and I connected to the memory categories database, and I just connected the two of them and added whatever other fields that I wanted. So I connect updates to projects, and now I can have updates on projects. I connect updates to people. I can have updates on people. So the idea is that you're building out an entire series of databases where they're connected to one another, and then you're able to see the connection of those things. So you can see people updates, you can see project updates, you can see updates by a particular category. All of that's really, really useful. So with that being said, this has been Memory. Please like and subscribe this video. And if you want to know when the next one comes out, hit that notification bell. And if you want to download any of these things, check the links in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.